Welcome to season 3 of Murk IBSG. I am CoinFlip, and I am here with Gitano today, and we're going to be casting the Murk Gulag series versus Jolly Rogers Ghost Crew, our defending champions of Murk IBSG. How are you feeling today, Gitano?
I'm feeling good. They're defending champs, but some new faces on the roster as well. So, little added pressure to them.
Yeah, lots of pressure as we're going to go straight into the bans now. They are going to be starting with Lilia and Vigar on the side of Murk Gulag, and Amumu and Yone on the side of Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, Yone a little bit more of a niche ban pick, but really kind of singling out mid laner here for C Creighton, and that Amumu just being so versatile. Yesterday we saw him pick up 2 games in a row and very vital in both those games here. Renekton being the lane bully as he is. Lilia, great AP pick. I know Fifi loves to use that champion, and the Vigar cage. Very, underutilized, I feel, in this elo because it's such an easy, we get one person stunned in the cage and it's just the automatic go button going in there. And then Victor here to round out the final ban. A great poke champion and a good disengage.
A respect ban for the top laner JRDC, or the Renekton getting banned here. So they're going to start with the Wukong. Interesting from Murk. I was not expecting him. I expected him to be on just a tank. Whatever.
And
that guy
can be flexed as well. We've seen it top lane, we've seen it jungle. You never know what they're going to pull out. It's the first game. Maybe you want to dive deep and bring her mid or something even.
Yep. JRDC waiting to respond. Imagine Fifi is feeling the pressure with his 2 champions, or his 2 main champions already off the board.
Yeah, a little bit of takeaway, but I think JR or GC has a plan already. If they're picking the Orianna this early on, they either want to take it away from the Wukong Wombo combo, but they might have some follow up here. J4 is a great one for that. And is already off the board. That would go well. Diana, kind of that flavor of the month here with that jungle position. So a lot of AP coming out from this team, but a hard switch over, and it is going to be the J4. So a great Wombo combo with the Cleticism into the Shockwave.
Yeah, I do like that better. It's a little bit easier of an engage tool. Diana, of course, can be hit or miss, but Jarvan here, good pick. I don't know how. I think it can very easily isolate a good AD carry in a fight if they will pick it. And the Tristana going over to Synthetic, I believe is their league name.
Yes. I believe so as well. And maybe even forcing on a champion that can jump on that. So possibly a little bit of a adjustment here for them. The Syndra, the immobile mid, has to be careful here. J4 loves to gank early and could really put pressure on Secret in here.
Yeah, Zera Synthetic is a Tristana player by nature, though. So I actually think this is just right in their wheelhouse to be wanting to pick this champ here.
And a Caitlyn pickup that's great range. Tristana, building that range as she goes and levels up. So a great kind of counter pick. Starts off with that Vayne range, but if you can keep her safe early, she really does scale pretty well. So we'll see what the next three bans are here. Supports, still on the table. So we might even be looking more towards those or top size, depending on what they would like. Darius off the board here as well. JRGC ban that away, and we'll see what Murk has to respond with.
I imagine it's just top lane bans on top lane bans here. To make sure. Oh, a Thresh ban. Was not expecting that.
A little out of left field. Thresh not, in current meta, but still a great all around support. I'm a big fan of him. He can do it all, engage, disengage. That ultimate, it can really lock you down. More of that utility of what he brings. Garen as well. No, Demacia will be smitten down by that sword here in this game. We'll see if another support gets picked up here by Murk if they really want to limit the engages here for JRGC.
Yeah, having a Thresh player as your support is always really, really nice. I love the Lantern, and the Orin's going to be picked up here after the Seraphine ban. So, Nasghost saying, just, I don't care if you beat me in lane, I'm going to scale.
Yeah, and we saw Orin yesterday and how well those upgraded items and how he did in lane as well. So, and being able to just pick up your own items too in the middle of lane if needed is kind of an added benefit here. But a support pick last for JRGC, something that you don't see often, for that last rotation here. Camille being the answer here for Murk. So we'll see if me like blood can taste a little bit here after the first couple of minutes and really get rolling, because that Camille is going to be kind of that snowball. If you grab an early gank or two, a lot of pressure can be swooped up towards that top side, and you would have to send 1 to 2, possibly even 3, depending on how fed she is, but she's very quick to isolate and kill.
Yeah, we're gonna round out the bans here not bans, picks here for Murk Gulag as we're waiting on the support for JRGC. But I'm looking forward to this top lane matchup. I know it's not necessarily going to be super exciting between Orin and Camille, but throughout this series, I am super excited to watch this as the Poppy comes out, which is a really good counter into this Tristana Rakan lane.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. She can just kind of put a stopper on that. Plus the Camille and if Wukong's diving into, a well-placed, the stoppage can really change a team fight here. So, but yeah, they're mainly looking for that J4 Orin Wombo combo right away on top of the Orianna. Caitlyn's going to be able to play pretty safe towards that backside. She only really has to worry about the Camille and Wukong, but that is a tall order in itself.
Yes, as we close out the draft here, which draft do you like better?
You're gonna get curse one of these teams, aren't you? Yesterday,
Uh,
I went 2-0 for who I'm gonna decide to lose, not to win. So I will continue on that route, and I'm gonna pick Murk to lose this
you're
game.
picking Murk to lose this game. Well, if the Camille does not get rolling, I think it's going to be a very hard game to play with Rakan. Rakan Wukong is not a great front line. So I think that if the Camille doesn't get rolling and they're not able to use this Camille to pick off targets, it's going to be a very hard game to play for Merc. I think the standard front to back for JRGC is going to be way easier to play.
Yeah, a lot easier to execute too. You know, you have the pick potential. You got the J4 for the early, and you got Poppy, a great disengaged champion. You know, seeing Wukong come in or Camille, just wind up that ult and send them into next week.
Yep, as we're going to have a prediction starting now. We want to know who you think is going to win this game. Tell us with your prediction. And with that said, I think we're going to be going to a short intermission while we wait for this game to get started and the spectator delay to wait its course. So we will be seeing you guys shortly.
I was like, Gabe? It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Welcome back to Murk Season 3 IBSG. We have here game 1 of Murk Gulag and Jolly Rogers Ghost Crew. Interesting to say the least, a game between these two teams who should be very strong in this league. Okay, what are you looking for level early here in this game?
I'm looking for a level 3 J4 gank. Just somewhere you're looking for the priority, and it's really going to depend on where you're going to be starting, everything right now. So it looks like towards the top side, possibly J4 will start. We'll see exactly where. But it's just such a strong level 3 that, if you do a full clear, come back, and then look, it's almost a wasting a little bit of time here. Other than that, I think the lanes are going to be pretty well even, and I'm really interested to see about this top side too, because if Camille does get rolling, it's just gonna spell danger here for the Jolly Rogers crew, which I'm sure Murk would just be on cloud 9 if that happens.
Yeah, so you're looking for an early gank for Jarvan and an early gank we probably will have, as that ward should expire before he hits the Raptors. So he should be able to sneak into the mid lane bush.
Yeah, even punishing the Syndra here that is very immobile. Probably going to take Scatter of the Week at level 2. So if that is burnt right away for a proc, on that first strike or something, that could be something where it's a little bit of an opening here. Bot lane, of course, we're shoving for that level 2, and it looks like Jolly Rogers will get it here, but nothing too crazy as we see Murk kind of backing off nice and easy, just waiting for that wave to crash.
Yep, Camille spell shield or base shield that just flips damage based on
It is
the
a
damage you
spell
do.
shield. That's stupid. That's no matter what you do, I'm gonna block some of it.
Yeah, it's just waiting for anyone who can't really get past it. But Ornn in this lane is just having fun right now until she can actually have an all-in threat. J4 are going to opt not to have an early level 3 gank. They might, if they could set up a lane here for bot side, we'll try for a dive. Looks like not a dive, but a gank.
Yeah, they do have a ward in that tribush towards the bot side, just in case. Meanwhile, top side, a lot of trades back and forth here. They're letting it all hang out right now. So some decent trades though back and forth. One not really getting the upper hand.
Yeah, just when you think Ornn has taken enough damage to make a difference, he just hits you with one brittle, and suddenly you're even again.
Yeah, a little bit of a CS difference, but nothing too crazy just yet, especially with that wave crashing in. Got to take that into account. Wukong towards the bot side will get spotted out, though.
Jarvan makes his appearance mid lane and is not going to force anything. Is going to just walk. Everyone's going to walk away with just a flash spent from the Syndra. A good flash burn. Let's see if he can revisit the flash and make something happen with it, because if that flash is burnt for nothing, then you kind of just wasted your tempo.
Yeah, and what you want to hear from the Aurea, you want to push that in, have that wave not reflect back to you enough to where that wave is naturally pushing in, setting you up for that gank. Bobby doing a good job of blocking.
Oh my!
All of engage very low here for Spaghetti, but that was close.
Very close. Rakan took a lot of damage there. Another important thing to note: Jarvan did get double scuttle, so he's ahead about 8 CS. And what's it called? The Caitlyn's gonna have a way better back here than Tristana whenever they do decide to back.
Yeah,
Kaylin
good lead right now, 15 CS, and it's only going to grow once you shove that into tower. They have great ward coverage too in that river, a sea of red right there really allows them to get aggressive without a lot of punishment. And with Wukong topside, they are free to continually to do this.
Yep. Wukong looking to go top right here with the wave pushing in. Orin's going to ward, but Wukong's going to be able to chase him a little bit and just poke him with a stick.
Just hey, get out of here. And I don't believe he saw the control ward either pop down, so that'll be a nice little safety net behind him just in case. Whereas the mid lane, though, we talked about that flash being blown, but we haven't seen J4 really pop up to that. But it looks like there might be even a rotation here for the Dragon. Orianna coming down, placing some vision in there. Meanwhile, towards the top side, looks like they might be doing a trade here. Wukong looking for the Void Grubs.
The ult's going to come out from the Camille onto the Ornn. Ornn is going to be able to get out of it with his knock up on the wall. He's going to walk away, still holding the flash. And he's going to walk away without burning anything but the Ornn horn. And that was able to allow Fifi to take the dragon uncontested. And if they want, they can sprint up top here and go contest these grubs. Oh, pause.
Right in the middle of Syndra popping the wombo combo there. So really good job here by Ghost, making sure that you don't really have to blow anything too significant. You just burned the ult, but kind of saving that flash just in case there is that all in play happening. So Dragon was taken on the other side there. So Jolly Roger's crew are gonna take that first. So I'm guessing towards the flip side when the next objective comes up, they're gonna be looking more towards those void grubs, trying to even that out, or at least taking two of them. Just yeah, you're still gonna get the 4 buff, but it's a lot better than 6.
We should be getting back into the game here shortly. From what I saw in all chat, they are gonna do a test to see if it fixed the issue, and then if the test doesn't work, they'll pause again, and we'll be back at square one. And the pause has stopped. We're going to get this little freeze here, as we always do with the spectator client from our small indie company that provides us with this game we love to play.
I don't know if love is the correct word, but it's like we're addicts that just keep on coming back for more and more and more, even though we know we shouldn't.
Should unstick in a second here. Yep, there it is. As the Orianna is going to ult the Syndra mid. But not going to result in a kill, as it's just going to give them pressure to be able to walk up to these grubs. But they're not going to like to do that. They're just going to continue clearing on their top side. Dolo looking mid here. Just trying to help Ori get that wave in. But the Rakan is also running here. If Ori's not careful, she will fall victim to this Rakan. And Rakan does nothing. Walk back to the bot lane.
Yeah, kind of standing in the wings just in case Orianna did get a little greedy and started to push up a little bit. Decide not to pull the trigger early just in case, they don't have a lot of vision towards the backside, just in case, someone was there on the back foot waiting for him for a counter push. So still a CS lead here, just about 20 for the Kaylin early on. So BF sword for both sides for the 80 carry. So a lot of first damage coming out here, and Ornn doing a good job of keeping this lane very well pushed and putting himself in a great position here.
Jarvan's going top, misses the EQ or QE, whatever it is, and it's going to result in just a flash from Camille, which isn't necessarily super important on a character like Camille. Most of the time you see people run stuff like Ignite, Teleport on that champion. So
yeah, just gonna mention that I've seen that more times than I can count.
Rakan's going to go in here with the grand entrance. This is the grand entrance. However, Tristana's going to get a almost full bomb proc on the Caitlyn, which is going to give them some pressure into this lane as she has lost a lot of health. Jarvan peeking around mid here. Got the ultimate onto the Syndra, and Syndra is going to fall for first blood. 8 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. The trading top here is continuing, but it is resulting in nothing.
Yeah, kind of wet noodle fights here, back and forth. Fifi picking up that first important first blood. It's not as all-inclusive as it once was. Oh,
Camille going in for a trade here.
Side.
Camille does have kill threat if she wants to, but she's going to elect not to try to finish the Ornn, as both of them have TP, so she will just want to get this wave in so that he can not get some of that XP. Caitlyn is going to just keep autoing this Rakan, but with the bone plating, not going to take much damage. We're about 10 minutes into this game now. What are you looking for now from these two teams? You said you wanted an early level 3 gank. You didn't quite get a level 3 gank, but it was a level 4 gank mid. So what are you looking for from both these teams mid game?
Yeah, now at this 10-minute mark, you want to be looking more for the objective. What's all coming on board? What have you gotten, and where is your team at? Pretty even across the board. So, I mean, you know, with these teams, maybe even just kind of holding off and waiting until after the lane phase. If you are JRGC, you want to wait for those all-inclusive team fights, that wombo combo. That's going to be your bread and butter. So at this point of the stage, I'd say you're doing just fine. There's nothing flashy you need to do. Keep grabbing picks, burning the flashes where you can, but you don't really need to make the plays in the lane. Now, from the other side of Murk, you need to start making these plays. You want your lane bullies to have more prio. You know, the Camille being that champion, but not really getting a lot here. Yes, you do have the CS lead. You are going to scale and be that menace, but Ornn's doing a really good job right now of kind of keeping her on the back foot. Same thing with Syndra. Syndra's very giant lane bully, but not being too effective. And, you know, with that aggression, you burn your flashes. J4 is, you know, going to be countering you. So you almost have to play on that back foot. And meanwhile, bot side, it's once again the back and forth, but maybe not so much, you know, wet noodle fights is another one here pops out.
Ornn coming out with Ornn. Ornn is not going to get the proc off because of the knockup from Wukong. Wukong, however, is going to fall, and the Poppy ultimate is going to send the Syndra packing, as this was a clean collective fight from the side of Jolly Rogers that just wrapped up, did what they wanted to in a bow. Now they're going to get, this should be 4 grubs total for them, which is going to spawn a proc. Tristana jumped in. Is going to kill this Caitlyn. Sure. Ooh, wow. That was very close from Caitlyn with the barrier pop. But Tristana gets the better of that every day when I think Caitlyn doesn't have anyone to sit there and help peel for her. What you want from your Tristana, though, you want that pressure onto the Caitlyn when she's alone with Caitlyn.
Yeah, the 90 caliber net just missing out. I think that would have been the big game changer, but that also gave the green light go for Tristana, grabbing those resets, and that ultimate being a very, you know, close or, you know, a close range asset. Meanwhile, Caitlyn, you want to stand back, you got to wait for that to charge up, and you really can't use it. So great job by the Tristana, taking full advantage of that.
Camille can trade with the Ornn here, as Ornn has very little mana and very little health. Ornn needs to be careful, as he could get stuck in a bad spot if he's not careful. This next objective, speaking of objectives, the second Drake goes over to the side of Jolly Rogers, but that's going to give them the feat of, what is it called when you hit I guess feat of objectives.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a fancy name. Jarvan showing up mid here with a gank. The ultimate's going to come out as the Orianna ultimate also comes out, and that is going to be feats of warfare to the side of Jolly Rogers, which means they claim the boots, the boot buffs.
They get some nice looking boots, and who doesn't want a pair of boots? You know, a very nice brand new, gives you great advantages. But J4 doing a really good job towards the mid side, You know, really taking advantage of the Syndra and really utilizing that combo early, getting the Orianna ahead as well. Just has the Archangel staff here, so only a lot more damage is going to come out from here. Ornn completing the first item. We got the Heart Steel, Trinity Force on Camille, so nothing too crazy on the board that we haven't seen. J4 as well with the Eclipse here, so people starting to complete this first giant, you know, first item spike for themselves here. Meanwhile, these plates are just going down like crazy here, you know, for this bot side. But engage here.
The grand entrance is going to be blocked by the Poppy as Tristana's going to go all in with a rocket jump, and the bomb does not kill either of them. That is very sad if you are Tristana there, because you knocked both of them away with that bomb. But at the same time, your partner in crime, the Rakan, did not fall, and you saved the tower for another day, which you don't get the priority gold anymore because you got the first tower, but still, it is a...
That's an F in chat right there. You just the saddest. You came home and your dad ran over your dog, and you're like, "Come on, really?" There's nothing I could have done at this point. So, just some very unlucky mishaps here from the Tristana, but I'm sure she'll get her chance once again. We'll see how this top lane works now with the Trinity Force complete and the Ornn with the Heartsteel, obviously needing a little bit more time to get that power spike, but some good trades back and forth.
Yeah, looking at these game states, as PP goes in mid and again is going to punish Secret Tunnel the Syndra, and that is a rough start. Is also Syndra notably built Black Fire Torch, and I don't know if I like that necessarily. Like, it's good for the game state, but when I think of Syndra, I think of QE, press R, and you one-shot somebody, not a slow burn on that champion.
Correct. You don't have the consistency. You have the cooldown. So, you know, if you find squishier targets, you're looking for that Luden's Echo, maybe even Leandre's, but towards topside, Camille now.
The Ornhorn coming out, and he's going to miss the Ornhorn, which probably would have secured the kill, but it's going to continue to back this Camille off this as the jungle gap continues to grow in presence, as I have not seen the Wukong in any of these lanes, but I have seen Jarvan in almost every single one of them, and he's doing an insane job of getting this team ahead early. As some trade comes out mid lane, but it's gonna be inconsequential. Khan coming out, the Wukong is finally making his appearance into these lanes, is going to ult the Caitlyn, and Tristan is gonna collect the kill. The Cyclone coming out, they collect the kill bot side. This should result in their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, it should. Ornn here trading back and forth with the Camille. Camille backing with the teleport. Ornn still having it up here for the fight, so if he is able to push in, back off, that could be a little bit of a difference maker here. Poppy trying to defend this tower, but taking a lot of damage for it.
At what cost? Doesn't have the locket anymore to save themselves, so they got to be careful. Otherwise, they could just get dove if this Wukong elects to come down. Wukong is currently just running through Jarvan's bot side, as Jarvan is taking the Rift Herald right now, trying to get one of these first towers to fall. They're not going to this dragon, and I have questions about that, because you might not know that Jarvan's necessarily not topside, or is topside, but you don't also want to just assume that he's going to be at the dragon. You want to make him show his face there.
And now the Hexagate was used as well from the Wukong, so you know it was kind of clear going back in, so he wasn't touching it. You had lane cryo, you just had the Poppy very low. You know, those were kind of the targets here, but that really gives them time to set up, and Vivi's running down like a madman towards that dragon. He is ready for blood.
Yeah, this is just, I think, a huge fumble from Murk. They had Vivi, they had cryo, and they had what they wanted to go topside, or the Drake, and they just didn't. Murk's gonna be looking for his cheeky steal here, and is going to steal it at the cost of his life, but that is gonna slow down the snowball from Ghost Crew as the gold lead. The drag lead is not going to continue to climb. Orin did reset and is TPing back to lane. So yeah, we're just going to continue with these standard lanes. We haven't even shifted our bot lanes up yet. So
Yeah, towers just beginning to fall here. We see the first one towards the mid side. I believe Rift was used for that. I wasn't quite sure. Bot lane also looking like it's going to be a stiff breeze away. Meanwhile, top side, that tower. So a lot of these outer turrets being taken down, which opens up the map quite a bit. So now what I want to see, I want that support to start moving in, start grabbing those wards, in major, intersections to kind of really start to nullify and collapse
the
on the team.
knockaway is good, but they're not going to be able to get this tower.
Unfortunately, just a little too much armor on it, but they are backing here off of that. So I mean, worth.
Yeah,
Worth
they if they would have ran back to lane, they probably could have saved the tower. But they're not going to run back to lane, so they're going to get this tower, and that's going to be the third of the outers falling for Murk, and they're going to start feeling this pressure everywhere on the map as they're starting to lose places to stand safely.
Yeah, the island's going to shrink a little bit here, and now you almost want to start, with the counter engages, kind of see where, who's overextending. Are you going to be able to catch the Orion out by herself if she does roam bot side? A Wukong Syndra combo can easily burst her down, or if Caitlyn decides to push up a little too far, trying to grab those individuals to kind of get Merc back in the game here. But they have to be careful as there's still a lot of good vision here deep in their jungle. But now with Poppy backing, resetting the wards, I'm sure there's going to be more than enough here. Dragon a little less than 3 minutes with no objectives on the field, so be prepared for a giant team fight here.
There's this top lane is going to have such inflated damage stats because they are just constantly hitting each other. Syndra coming out is going to pop the ulti, the Orianna shockwave coming out, and Orianna is going to take the kill. Just not enough damage from the Syndra with the Blackfire torch.
And we also see the Dark Seal on the Syndra. I'm not a fan, especially if you don't grab it early and this late. There is no reason to, because you're not. Now, if it was like Orianna, where you're shielding, you're healing, you're doing consistent with the team, that could be explained, but it's too late in the game and it's putting you down gold wise for that next objective item, and you don't have a lot of burst. We talked about the Blackfire torch and that aggressive flash scatter the weak combo, just not being able to one shot. If you don't do it in lane, it's not going to work later in the game.
The nice thing about this Camille Ornn lane is that Ornn has this heart steal, and Camille just is unable to kill him ever. So he's just getting free heartsteel procs on cooldown. Up to 142 right now. He's gonna start being super tanky if they're not careful.
Yeah, that is an amazing stat already. 142 on the heartsteel, and you haven't even touched anyone else in any part of the fights here. So a really good job of just kind of
teleport coming out from the Syndra. Cool. They're gonna start to collapse, but Jarvan is just able to EQ over the wall, and they get away for free and burn a TP in the process. That almost kind of looked desperate from Murk there. Like, you went and you just tried something that you thought you could make happen, but like with these hyper mobile champs that they have, like Jarvan, it's really hard to lock somebody down. As Camille's gonna start trading with the Ornn here, as Wukong's running towards the top side. Oh, never mind. He was taking the scuttle, ignoring his top laner like he should be.
Like a good top lane, stay over there.
Yep, as neither of these two have really even came to any kind of fight anywhere on the map. Camille continuing to trade as Ornn doesn't do much damage to her besides the heartsteel and the grasp proc. But yeah, I mean, Camille's just like, she's not ahead. She's ahead about 30 CS, which is like right about where you'd expect to be if you're in an Ornn Camille lane. But she hasn't done anything to really make a big difference. As Camille's resetting, hopefully going to this dragon, as Ornn should be resetting too. Dragon spawned. Jarvan showing mid, so Wukong could force his way into this river right here if he wanted to try to not allow Jarvan to enter.
Yeah, Drake started up here, and I'm sure Fifi in the back of his mind going, all right, let's get a ward over the pit just in case Wukong decides to run over again. But he is going to go straight up into it. Fifi being able to smite, though.
Hextech ultimate coming out from the Camille as she's going to trap him in there, but the Jarvan ultimate also traps Jolly Rogers in there as they get the fight that they want. And they are just tearing through them. Orin TP was super late, and it could change this fight, actually. As that is going to be... No. Oh, the snipe from the Camille is able... not from the Camille. The Syndra is able to clean up the Caitlyn, but the Camille should be dead here. And she gets away because she's Camille.
The great escape. Just the Houdini. I mean...
Yeah.
Ghost is still trying, but...
This fight, if Orin was there when the fight started, I don't think they probably kill a single member. But Orin was late to this fight because Camille got the wave pushed in. So they did get the fight they wanted. They didn't get the dragon, but they got the fight they wanted. They got the shutdowns on everyone across the board. So they closed the gold lead a little bit, and they should be able to go towards this Otacon now and be able to fight this under good knowledge. As Nascos is being taken low here. The ultimate not quite ready from the Camille yet, but she can continue to slow chase here. She has the Ravenous Hydra now, so she's at her 2-item spike that you really want to be. And this should just be a kill. She's going to just shut down the Orin right there, and that is going to allow for a lot to be opened up on the map. The Rakan goes on for the grand entrance onto the support and is going to be killed by the Tristana, and that's going to be probably Baron.
Oh,
nope, they are chasing.
Oh, no.
They're chasing, but the shockwave was huge from the Orianna. Oh my god, as that is gonna mean this fight is just now gonna be over. Wow, what a shockwave from Kraken coming out as the Kate gets a triple kill, and what looked like it should be a Baron for the side of Murk Gulag is now going to be a Baron probably for Jolly Rogers Ghost Crew. Camille is going to be able to get this tower in the side lane, which is going to get some gold back, but at what cost?
Yeah, giant play there and a good job by J4. Well, I'm going to hold that thought here for a second, Camille, though, going up and over the wall, so I guess I can continue. J4 doing a good job of knowing that Trish jumped in, doesn't have a good escape, goes in there, burns the flash, and then Orianna doing a good job of kind of waiting in the wings, sees 3, and huge shockwave to pick up 3 and really turn that. And that could be a giant scale tipping play for Jolly Rogers here.
If they use this Baron correctly, it will be. The Otacon is up, but I don't think you want to take it right now necessarily with the Baron, you having the Baron buff. Just waiting, and they're going to open mid and try to hyperforce mid. Khan getting some deep vision as they might try to leverage this into an Otacon for blue side. Murk being on the bot side, trying to defend this mid tower, but he knows that it is not going to be successful as Murk gets popped. That was a quick fight.
Very quick fight here. Murk just fortunately taking the wrong route, and they are pushing this down that canyon and being able to just plug away at the tower. Caitlyn as well going to be able to get a couple of shots in here pretty freely. Syndra though on the side looking
knock
for
away
something.
The Rakan. However, these double cannons are just going to shred through this tower, and Ornn is going to get this wave into the bot side as the Camille is going to engage, but the Jarvan's going to counter engage the Cataclysm as the shockwave is good and finds 2. This might just be the game here as the Camille and the Syndra flashes away from the Jarvan flag and drag.
Yeah, nothing too much to do now, but just kind of push it in nice and easy. Make sure your Caitlyn stays safe and just targets one of the towers. Looks like that top side tower, it will be the target, but
the Syndra is not going to find anyone with that knockback, but as the Wukong is going to go in for their last stand effort and is going to just die as the Ornn TP's in, and it is just Syndra by her lonesome as she falls, and that is going to be the end of game one as a decisive victory for Jolly Roger's Ghost Crew, absolutely blowing up Murk Gulag. And I have to say, I think this game was won in draft, as the Jarvan pick was great. The Jarvan Orianna pick, but I gotta give this game's MVP almost to the Poppy, as anytime that there was a team fight, this Poppy, I don't know the name exactly of the ability, but the Poppy W was just stunning everyone, and the Poppy pick has got my MVP vote for this game.
I think I have to swing it over to that Orianna. We just talked about that giant team fight. Camille was hitting the power spike, 1v1ing the Ornn, and was going to be a major problem for this team, but a very great team fight and a quick, thought here of Kraken going, hey, I'm just going to wait it out, find 3, shockwave, and allow the team to, re-engage off of that. Caitlyn picking up so many kills, cleaning up the fights, and that ultimately led them to the end there. That could have been another 10-15 minute game easily.
Something I want to point out before we head to a break, the Wukong had 2,500 damage in that game. In game 2, if I think Murk is going to have a shot, I think he needs to be super proactive and just figure out a way to be in lanes when Fifi is also in lanes, because Fifi being super proactive with while on the Jarvan was able to get his team snowballing, while the Wukong farming is okay, but you really want to show up and kind of get these lanes with these lane bullies ahead if possible.
Yeah, I think that begins with a lot of ward coverage, making sure that you know where that jungle is starting, making sure you have, a little bit of vision on him somewhere in the midst of that. So that could spell out, for, even yourself taking a deep ward somewhere in the midst of it, or the support roaming around, mid getting prio and just warding, a raptor camp, wraith camp, whatever you want. Just make sure you have a little bit of knowledge of where Fifi's going.
With that said, that wraps up game 1, and we are going to be headed to a break right before game 2, which should be starting relatively quickly. We will see you guys shortly. Go for it, Jatano. I'm gonna go.
Welcome back here for game 2. They are swapping sides here. JRGC now on the blue, Murk over towards the red side, and a really kind of heated game 1, back and forth all the way up until kind of a crucial tipping point here. Of that back and forth, we saw the Camille gain a little bit ahead of Steed, but it just took one play for JRGC to really capitalize on that play. Grabbed Baron, ran it down mid, and really found that opening. So we'll see if it is a repeat performance or what they have for game 2 here. A lot of similar bans here from both sides, just one change out. That Rumble now being that pickup here for JRGC, so they might have something in mind. Mumu banned out here. The first game is going to be able to be picked up here from JRGC, so another Wombo combo could be looking at an MF here. I've been really crucial, if you do pick MF, that you either take the Braum or ban it in the first rotation if needed, but we'll see exactly what they have planned here. In answer of the Sejuani, I'm liking it. It's a good engage, disengage, a slow, can make those early plays as well too here. So Fifi on game 1 here doing a good job finding the ganks, finding the openings, especially for mid, and really being proactive around the map as well as objective controls. So we'll see if that comes alive here as well in game 2. We'll see what happens here for the second pickup. Another Tristana look here for Murk. Really good showing on game 1. Even had a couple of solo kill looks here for the Kaylin. Had that one for sure, and almost a double on the back end of that. So quite a bit of repeat performance, but I'm liking it. I think that Tristana played very clean, and it was a very back and forth game for them. So we'll see what JRGC has to come back with here. Time winding down to Callista. Not something you see very often, but with these teams, those coordinations, making sure it's not, YOLO Q where you have to kind of almost feel like you have to pick a carry type of champion. I'm hoping to see, those hard engaged supports. We could see the Leona, the Rel, even the Braum could be an option here. Thresh being banned out as well, so we might see that somewhere in the midst of this back and forth. Supports were not picked up here until the very last piece of the game, and we'll see if that is a repeat performance. And a Viego picked up, which makes me believe that the Mumu is going support, possibly, and the Viego here going for the jungle for Fifi. So an aggressive pick, really looking for those solo catchouts here. And now Murk saying, a little bit of anything you can do, we can do better. We're going to pick up the Orianna on our side. So some very interesting picks coming out here for both sides. A little bit of change of pace and a different look. First ban off here for Murk. Galio taking that off the field, making sure Orianna, has a clean lane phase on that. There's no universal, crashing of the Galio ult to help any of the side lanes. We see Maokai, that tree, not going to make his entrance here for this game. A really good engage, disengage tool for the support, especially with a Tristana locking down that one champion here. Murk now on the clock. Irelia being looked at, so another kind of carry solo champ that apparently they are fine with, taking that off the board. Maybe a counter pick for something of that top side of the Camille, since it was not banned out at this moment here. One last ban here from JRGC, and this will kind of tell what they're looking at the targeting at Maokai for the support. Can be flown top or Khan as well. So it looks like they don't, Poppy in there. Of course, Poppy getting in there. So trying to stop the Amumu, stop the Callista ult from kind of shoving someone in there. I'm not sure if that stops me. I have not seen that interaction in a very long time, but I'm sure chat will correct me if I am wrong in that portion of Poppy. And I'm blanking on the name too, for W, can stop the Callista ult from smashing in if she does pick up a champion here. So it looks like topside will have the counter here for Murk and Lissandra being looked at here for JRGC, and it will be picked up here for the Jolly Rogers crew. A great form of CC and survivability for her. She does have one of those gap closes, with her E, but how often are you going in? Because once you go in, you will not be coming out as Lissandra. And the final pick here to kind of round out this comp and let us know where everything is going will be picked here shortly. And Mordekaiser, great top champion, being able to, be a lane bully in his own sense, no longer with the Ornn, but this is a great pickup here, especially if you have objectives control. Mordekaiser comes in, takes out Sejuani, with one ult, and really leaving your Viego able to, freely smite. But once again, anything you can do, we can do better. Murk now picking up the Ornn as well here. So I'm liking this Wombo combo that they have here for game 2. The Ornn, Orianna, you got Sejuani to kind of come in. So a lot of utilization of the tools of engagement while still having their own self-peel with the Poppy. Tristana being, those mobile AD carries that can jump away. Orianna shielding and helping out here. Meanwhile, for Jolly Rogers crew over here, it's kind of a ragtag team type deal where you want to get that head, snowball your lead, and really not allow this, Murk team to really come together and fire on all cylinders. So, and Viego's a really good, jungle bully. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if he's trying to kind of go deep into the Sejuani jungle to kind of, deter that angle and maybe wreak some havoc here. So Sejuani is set further back, and now you either have to send champions over from the lane to help out, or you kind of have to sacrifice and maybe even counter jungle in your opponent's jungle, which made things very interesting because if you meet them, it's not going to be great. So I'm really excited about the bot lane too here, the Amumu Callista. Now, if for some reason there's a giant mix-up, I am going to be eating my words, but I think it would be very interesting here. So we'll see exactly how that works, especially with the Poppy being able to kind of, disengage Amumu whenever he tries to bandit Tosh in. So there could be a better lane here for Murk, and I'm really excited for that here. Mid lane matchup. It's a little bit of a poke fest back and forth, nothing too crazy. Both of these are scaling and not a lot of primordial bursts, coming out of each end of here. Lissandra just kind of smashing out with those icicles, and Orianna being able to, command the ball around a little bit, but nothing too crazy for that. But a lot of good follow up as well. We saw that in game 1. J4 being able to come in, Orianna on the shockwave, providing enough CC chain that, because you didn't have burst damage, there still was enough to kind of take down from, that, 50% mark on down. Same thing with this now, the Lissandra packing up a lot of CC, and Viego with a lot of damage coming out here. And of course, for the top side, Mordekaiser and Ornn. I think this is going to be really interesting. I think the Mordekaiser has a little bit of an edge on that, but Ornn has been so strong lately, and I wish I knew this top lane matchup a little bit more to call maybe a little bit more fairly, but I've seen Mordekaisers run rampant throughout this league and really be a crucial pick in a lot of team fights. And if you get them ahead, it's gonna spell disaster. So I think we can throw up the predictions for this game in chat here. Go ahead and do that now. I wish I could tell you the percentages. I'll tell you where my percentage is going. Once again, my pick'ems is the lose on pick'ems. I'm picking what team is not going to win, and it's a cast or curse. It's not personal. It's just how it is. I pick someone to win, they lose, so I might as well go with the current rather than against it here. So I'm going to throw over to Murk, unfortunately, the cast a curse loss of Gitano on this one because someone's got to have it. And unfortunately, I can't pick the Jolly Rogers crew after that first game, but that could all change here in game 2. We will throw it over to a quick break while they get on the rift settled. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, Yordles of all ages. I'd announce everyone else, but I think Yordles covers at least the majority of it this time here. One of our casters is tapped out here. He, saw the game last time. He had a lot of head shaking going on, so he had to dip. Unfortunately, we do have a expert here for replacement. Go ahead and introduce yourself if you would.
Hey, you can call me Burbs. Some of you might recognize me from Rat Tactics last year as AD, and I'll just be joining for some spicy games after that first one.
Yeah, spicy indeed. A lot of action here. Game one was a little bit of just, a kind of a feeler out, but I'm guessing this game two here, JRJC's gonna get a little crazy with it and try to make some plays.
Yeah, and we're seeing set up for the first little section of the game here with everybody kind of moving in on the blue side. They're finding Poppy out. I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
no.
right. Those spaghetti has to flash out of there, and that is a quick summoner burn. So hopefully Fifi will keep that in mind and maybe look towards that bot side. You'd never want to blow it, that quickly, but it happens.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to be kind of impactful for the bot lane. A lot of that kill pressure from Poppy without Flash is going to be gone, so I'm kind of interested to see what happens this game.
Yeah, I really want to see this top lane because if Mordekaiser gets ahead, it's just going to be joyous to watch. A little bit of the struggle bus and him just take people to the death realm as much as he can, and just basically, I think of Yu-Gi-Oh right away. My friends all call it the Shadow Realm, and that's kind of what it is. But Ghost not having the best trade here, as Orn getting a better trade of it, still down a little CS, but that wave is slowly crashing into him here.
Yeah, Born has a bit more of a surprising burst than I think a lot of people give him credit for. And across both mid and top lane, we're seeing some trading, while bot lane is saying nice and safe. No volatility. Everybody just wants their farm, go home, see the wife and kids.
I mean, there's still quite a bit of game to play. You might want to call the wife and tell her, "Hey, we game's going to be a little long, but if you win, you get Pizza Ranch, or not Pizza Ranch, Pizza Hut." At least that's what happened when I was younger. It was, "Hey, we're going to Pizza Hut afterwards," but it doesn't
Oh,
it doesn't hit the same. It's like what's the tricks? Tricks are for kids, but then you grow up and you're like, "There's nothing special." I
you
feel
think
like
we can
Pizza Hut did
include
that
that
to
in
me.
the end of year reward for Murk? Get some
Just a
Pizza Hut?
box of tricks. Oh, I thought you were going to say a box of tricks.
No, no, no.
Think for the loser, for the runner up, a box of tricks, and then the winner will get Pizza Hut.
Okay, now still trading on the top side. I don't know if we're gonna see some pathing up where since Sejuani is clearing down towards this bot side. Amumu getting some trades started here.
Oh, that bomb reset here. Exhaust being used, Poppy as well, stopping the go in button as it happened. And first blood over to Mumu. Kalista going over the top of that. Does blow flash. Doesn't have any sums now. Sejuani towards the bot side. And the last proc of that bomb is going down. A double kill here
Oh,
for Synthetic. And what a start to the game. 2-0. Going to grab a little bit of CS lead as she's pushing up too. So this bot lane, very volatile at this point, and you have to be careful. A repeat of mid. Fifi looking towards the secret tunnel, but not finding too much just yet. And topside as well, back and forth. What was a slow game is now a barn burner from the start. And Mordekaiser really kind of closing that gap of, what the initial trade back and forth having a very bad time, but now has brought it back to even.
yeah, I'm really surprised that we got to see a win out from that uh, kind of bot side where Amumu got a kill out of that, and Tristana survived with just a bare amount of HP. Now that Viego has reset and is getting into some of his secondary map movement, it looks like he's going for a Kraken, which should be pretty good at slicing through this Ornn and Sejuani. Looking like he's actually going towards enemy Krugs. There might be something happening if he meets up with Sejuani soon.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about a little bit earlier in that path, making sure Viego has, able to invade and grab that good vision. We see the control ward all the way towards the red side, and that's not usually a Pathian area or is a bush that you're going to look at very often. But goes having the final say here towards the top side, does find purchase and a 1-0 lead, a little bit of CS also towards that. Fifi towards the top side just in case something went off, but there's really no need to be too cautious with that. And this is kind of a hot start here for Jolly Rogers towards, that top side, but that Tristana already getting a really good spot. Ooh, Shockwave
Beautiful
here
engage.
used in mid. Yeah, Sejuani looking for the wombo combo. Poppy as well, shoving over then Mumu getting just a little bit of time out from that.
Damn, it looks just like wonderful with the Amumu getting the bandage onto the minion, and then they both had two onto Oriana. But then they had the counter engage with Sejuani coming in from the side, and the shockwave really just disrupted anything they wanted to do. Viego wants to get something else, but
Ooh.
some fancy feet from Oriana, he's not going to get anything.
Yeah, some fancy feats, some wombo combos. Mordekaiser going in here does have the Death Realm. We'll see who he ends up popping here for that. They are just looking to kind of disrupt here those voids being taken, making sure there's a Death Realm pep, looking for a Blood Mark, looking to go over, but there's nowhere to go. Can run around the entrance, but there's nothing that's going to be happening. Here it goes, taking down another kill. Might get a shield here for the double, looking for the triple. Grabs it. There is not done just yet. Secret Tunnel having a flash over Ghost, not going to be deterred here. Quadra kill early for that. Ghost 5-0. This is going to be an early Rylai's Crystal Scepter for that boy, and he is not taking no for an answer. If he sees you one time, just one time within his reach, he is not letting go.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of people going into that Death Realm this game. Oh, Viego trying to get more of these invades. He's finding good angles, but unfortunately, the bot side is not on the reset he wants to support him. And so he's just going to get killed by the bot lane duo.
Yeah, not a lot of prio there for that invade, and really, an easy lookout here as they rotate. Mumu not on that side either, kind of taking a solo void lane here as the support. So a little bit of a strategic take, but then also a giveaway here for Fifi. 0-1, so nothing too crazy on him just yet. Even farm for the Sedge and the Viego. And if we look at that CS across the board, there's nothing too crazy, but when we look at kills, that's telling a different story.
Yeah, I think from this point, JRGC really should just be looking to play around that 5-kill Mord in the top lane. If everybody can just go even and try to mitigate the losses on that Tristana into that 2 damage comp of Oriana Tristana, it is going to be real hard to deal with a Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I mean, already he's doing a good job of keeping that lane pressed towards him. So if Orny even remotely comes forward, it's going to be punishing. And the Rylai's was complete under 8 minutes. That is just insane to have that. Meanwhile, on the flip side of that, for Murk, we see the Trist 3-0 on that, completing the first item as well. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a toss-up. It's going to be who can kind of carry harder at this point. But if you have the Mordekaiser that always splits, that opens up your team fight, and definitely Tristana could take advantage of it. But on the off chance that he comes around, I'm not sure if that's a fight you want to be taking exactly.
Yeah, I think he's going to be bringing the Death Realm a bit more into everybody else's rift. And here on the bot side, Tristana just trying to build a bit of a slow push, it looks, but unfortunately, Champ is not very good at that with her passive on the E. So as they try to deny as much CS as possible, it looks like everybody right now is just setting up to get their jungle camps so that when everybody shows up to the ocean drink in 2 minutes, I think it's going to be an all-out brawl.
Oh, Bloodmark here getting spotted out by Fifi. A lot of damage here from Fifi. We'll see if he ends up doing the smite fight and winning. It is going to be a win here for Fifi, gain the level. Also, Lissandra moving over there, being able to pick up the assist here. So a great little take back there. for the Viego.
Yeah, I think that play on Murk's side is a little overzealous to go, and even though you look like you're in a good spot because Mord can't rotate down right away and Viego doesn't have a kill yet, the 2v2 of mid jungle on the side of the Sandra Viego is just a horror to deal with. So I think we're going to be hoping that they can pull it back on Merc's side because the gold lead is starting to spread.
Yeah, I mean, this early, you don't want to see too much over a K, and we see that right now as a 1.2. Mordekaiser towards the top side here does Shadow Realm of the Orin. Orin right on that outside, not able to get any help by the tower, and this Mordekaiser having free reign to smash, bash, wombo combo, whatever he wants here. 6-0 for the time being right now, and just about a 20 CS lead as well. Orianna having a TP mid, and Fifi's looking, once again to invade this jungle, just trying to take away enough from Sedge, but Sedge doesn't really matter too much. As she's about to, there's the flash engage going on the Kalista. Kalista getting stunned up and having to use cleanse. There is the bomb on top, but not going to be used anymore by Karsa. Oh, and what a play there by Poppy, sending back Lissandra, not able to retouch with the E, setting the back, and a max Flag and Dre going in here. Poppy trying to throw up the defense. Spaghetti has to get out here. Orianna towards the bot side. Could look at a shockwave here just in case for the counter engage. But we see 4 members now all towards the bot lane. Dragon popping up here in less than 10 seconds. So that could be an easy rotation over, for one side if they get the inside track.
Honestly, even though they're going to be behind on their Dragon Prio, actually, I take it back. Blue side just reset. I think because Mordekaiser had just TP'd down and he didn't get anything with it, they could have rotated into that Ocean Drake. But instead, everybody's taking an even back, and now Viego's just going to get the top side grubs for free.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there, not communicating. We do have the jungler, we do have the smite fight, but it's also something, too, where you have to make sure you can enter in correctly without, kind of setting yourself up for failure. But Bloodmurk stepping in a little too far. Shockwave being used by Secret Tunnel. Does pick up Fifi here towards the other side. We see the Sandra ult smacking down just in case something was going to happen. No bandage toss for the follow-up, though. I know a lot of ults and subs were being used towards the bot side of that gang, so I think that's why both teams decided not to fight, just in case they put themselves in a bad position. Because if, let's say, for both sides, Jolly Roger's crew, you end up giving away 2 or 3 kills for that Tristana again, now she's 5-0 and becomes a giant pain in everyone's ass. Or on the flip side of that, Murk, you have a little bit of door opening yet with that Tristana, but if you end up giving 2 or 3 kills towards Fifi, or Fifi was topside, towards that Mordekaiser once again, or mid or even Kalista, it spells disaster. Bloodmurk here looking for Fifi, does get stunned up, a lot of CC. Tristana jumping forward just in case, smite being used here to slow down. Unstoppable use there by Fifi with that ultimate, barely getting away, and this should be a free dragon here for Murk.
Yeah, I think we're just seeing the long-term effects of that TP bot late. Red side just gets to enter after everybody on blue side has rotated up to those scrubs, even though they got the pick. Or even after getting the pick onto Viego, they just can rotate down to drag side, and they almost find him again.
Yeah, it's kind of a repeat back and forth. As soon as they, see the advantage, they're trying to take it. So both teams still being very aggressive with it. Murk after that game 1 not being deterred for trying to make the plays and, kind of see where the holes are in this team. Meanwhile, towards the top side, Orin very low mana, and Mordekaiser not having that problem, can just kind of push in freely as he wants. There is a spot out here for top side, and they might be taking that tower here very quickly as Vay goes towards the back side of it. Doesn't find Ornn, but could be first tower.
But it looks like Murk is going to get punished a bit on the overextension, trying to find something on the other side. The Frozen Tomb comes out from Lissandra, and he's just gone.
Yeah, great chain CC by the Lissandra. I mean, you're looking at least 3 seconds, and that's just by yourself in case you have anyone else to. Spaghetti trying to run away there on the Poppy, making sure that no one can get a sneaky engage here. Lissandra kind of low on mana here, just has to clear the wave. Does have TP, Kin back. Spaghetti kind of just, taunting him like, hey, come in, let's see what happens. But Tristana just saying, no, we're not going to fall that. Meanwhile, topside, you see this this man doing the Mordekaiser things.
Yeah, I think as everything settles down... Oh, never mind. Not settling down at all. Lissandra trying to take the trade onto Orianna. I think while we see this kind of lull in the game state, only Rift Herald's going up. I want to see if there's any action popping out from both of these teams. Because if you're on the side of Murk, I feel like you kind of have to try and make something happen. Your Poppy and your Tristana have a huge advantage over the Callista, with Poppy being able to stop all of her dashes. So if maybe they could rotate someone down here, concede this rift, because that Mordekaiser is going to have just complete prio. And looks like what they're doing right now is exactly what I'm trying to point out. They get the flash in from Murk, and exactly what I wanted. Despite the Amumu curse of the sad money, I mean, they just find a pick onto a Callista who really can do nothing into a Poppy.
Yeah, still has a cleanse, but there's so much CC that's going to be popping up here that it's almost, well, it's questionable to even use it at that point if you know you're in a bad spot and you can't really recover from it. At least you can save it for the next time here. So a lot of damage here being taken out by Mumu. Oh my god, the ult of the Tristana takes him to safety. Flash, barrier being blown, and ultimate, and still barely getting out alive here for the Tristana. Has to back. Does end up pick up the kill. Not going to grab the tower, though, just yet. I don't think Poppy has the damage for that. She is going to back as well. We see a couple of pings here towards the top side now.
Yeah, I think as we get closer and closer to this drag, I want to keep our eyes out onto the vision we get put down both around our bottom side.
Shockwave here by Secret Tunnel. Ultimate, the tomb being used by Lissandra, but it's not going to be enough. A last auto by Secret Tunnel does end up getting the kill. Fifi looking in for the kill, does use the ultimate as well, and shut down. Great job 1v1ing there from Fifi after, not the shockwave, but everything was used here. Yeah, by the Ori. I'm looking at the other side. I'm like, why is there two Oris? Well, lo and behold, if I had a little bit more common sense, I'd understand that was Fifi.
Okay, and now as we're resetting, Lissandra and Orianna yet to come back on the map. Mid lane's just kind of sitting in a stable spot. Mordekaiser's just headed back to base, and he's about to rock up to this Drake fight in the happiest state of his life. Tristana, she's got the BF sword pickaxe as she heads towards that IE, but Yuntal is not going to do much into a 2-item Mordekaiser who just puts his shield on, puts you in Death Realm. It's not going to be a fun time.
Yeah, if you're Tristana right now, you're like, hey, let's not be picking on any Yordles here, right? Pick on someone your own size. There's a giant Sejuani and Ornn that you can ult here. Speaking of Ornn trying to look in here for an engage Lissandra, getting knocked up, does have Tomb, but is not able to use it on herself just yet. Towards the bot side, they are roaming up here. Spaghetti looking here for an engage, does pop the ult, looking for the Mordekaiser, does connect here, shoves him all away. There is the blast plant, so then Spaghetti can rejoin, and a great support play there by Spaghetti.
Yeah, I have to say, while the start of the play was just wild on both sides, getting a pick off onto the Tristana on bot, meanwhile Ornn creating space and killing that Lissandra in the mid lane, Poppy makes a great play to get out safe, but even then, blue side is just too strong with this Mordekaiser. They can just force wherever they like, and they're just going to steamroll mid now that they've got all this prio. TP coming in with Lissandra. Turret's already dead. Mordekaiser takes the 20 into the Death Realm, and Diego's trying to make something happen.
Yeah, a little too overzealous there, trying to grab a little bit of kills. Go still staying in the pocket. They're just out of tower range. We see a kill here for the Zandra, that passive. That Sejuani is going to be running into the team, creating a little bit of havoc. Ornn still towards the top side, isn't going to join this fight. I think they're going to leave well enough alone as we see the TP from Mordekaiser now coming through. So another kill pickup. And if you're trading these 1-for-1 kills, I think you're just fine with it, especially if you're spreading the wealth around a little bit more for your team. Yes, Mordekaiser is still ahead and still in a very commanding lead, but now you start, getting the Callista more online, the Amumu as well, gain a little tank here. So all these pieces start to really wrap around for Jolly Roger Crew and Murk. You just have to be able to find these solo plays where you can to relieve pressure now that these outside towers have fallen. Like
and
that.
just jumps onto Callista and takes him out. That's the power of the IE spike that Callista just did not respect. Now, as Red Side clears back in with Tristana, again, trying to lead the charge as much as they can, they're going to have to make sure they're paying attention to the vision line. If you can see in the top side red jungle, the blue side's got a pink ward. They know exactly where Sejuani is, what she's doing at all times. And Mord can just try and force anything he wants on anyone at any time. They're trying to fight over the scuttle, but unfortunately, the smite from Fifi is just going to secure it. And with Otacon up and everybody splitting out to their lanes, kind of into the mid game, I think we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they prove me that it's spicier than I think. But there's really not much for red team to get right now, and blue side still has to get their setup for Otacon.
Oh, Bloodmarker here looking for a little bit of engage, though. Fifi straight behind him, so just a very, very careful, cautious crew here. As you see one person kind of left out, and it's almost a bait at this point. We saw Tristana saying, I don't care if it is or not. I'm going to get in and out before anyone comes here. If I do find Callista on the outer edge here, 2 minutes yet for the Dragon. So a little bit of this ward vision fight, as you just stated, being very crucial here. So we'll see what ends up happening. And we look at the vision score, pretty even here by the supports and kind of across the lane here.
Yeah, I think everybody's just playing that kind of mid-game dance of like, you take a step forward, I take a step back. You take a step forward, I take a step back. I jumped with Tristana and Amumu W's over the wall. Everybody's kind of searching for something, and everybody's kind of respecting something at the same time. So with this slow game state, again, I'm just going to have to favor JRGC. Yes, this Tristana is starting to build towards her third item, and if she can get there, maybe she can do damage. But there's just a Thorn Mail on that Mordekaiser. So if she's the one that gets ulted, I see a really bad time for Murk. But if maybe they can bait the ult onto somebody who's less high priority, and taking this gold from their center turret as well, that they just get to take a little bit for free, then maybe Tristana can find something. But here on the bot lane, we have an engage from Lissandra.
Yeah, Tomb being used here. Shockwave missing out here towards Lissandra, and Orianna trying to get away here. Does flash, double flash on both sides. Lissandra finding the kill, though, towards the Orianna. Great outplay there, and dodging the Shockwave, really allowing that play to come full circle here. So that bot tower here is not going to be crashed in, but Fifi finding out Blood Murk running away there at the back end of it. So they do have the inside track for this Dragon, 30 seconds, and there are 3 people mid, and no one is stepping towards the Mordekaiser for good reason.
Yeah, they traded that Lissandra R and Flash in order to get Orianna on the bot side, and now, because again, you're only that 2 carry comp, you've only got a Tristana, and she's really not going to do much to Mord. So Ornn trying to step forward here, he's just going to get punished by everything else, and the fight's just a mosh pit.
Yeah, a little bit of everywhere here. Curse this head mummy, stunning up 3 of them, and this is just everyone taking it. The Pound Town, a kill for you, a kill for you. Tristana grabbing up a double, but that is an ace here for Jolly Roger's crew, and they didn't lose anyone that fight. Just a couple of ultimates, and that was it. So a really clean take. This means mid lane will be pushed down. Tower, inhib, Dragon off, and maybe even a little bit more here as Mordekaiser takes down the tower. They could clearly rotate over and possibly even take the second one here towards the top side if they're feeling a little healthy.
And it wasn't even the red side, Tristana, that got the double kill. It was
Yep.
Viego taking the
Viego just-
passive, and he just jumping
It
on
was still
people.
Tristana. It was
still a
just different version.
Tristana. I'll concede that. And at this point, you just have to wonder, what can Murk Gulag do to get back into this game? Because all of their carries, every lead that they've gotten, has been just smushed down by the presence of Mordekaiser, as well as, I'm going to say, the presence of Viego with the warding and kind of the invades that he's trying to make. As Murk Gulag try and get this setup into the mid lane, they're going to try and maybe transition this upwards into Vision on the top side, but I really don't think they have the space to play here. If we're going to look for something to get back into this game for them, I think it's gotta be Poppy getting onto this Callista, and maybe an Orianna Shockwave following it up. From there, the only two carries left are going to be the AP damage on Lissandra and Mord, but unfortunately we just have a pick here in the mid lane.
Spaghetti tossing out the Lissandra saying we don't want you here, but there's a lot of spears in you here, and Heartstuck brother is hard sticking it to you at its finest here. Just really doing a really good job with the Blade of the Rune King and the Rage Blade completed. So a lot of attack speed and really coming online for this Callista, you know, shoving out all those spears and them stacking up, especially for objectives too. You know, a surprising amount can be taken away. Towards the top side though, Orianna possibly in a really bad spot here. It's a 3-on-1. Shockwave hitting one, but not going to be enough. Secret Tunnel has to run out of there, trying to get to safety, but unfortunately you're running a wrong way street here on limited time. Fifi now grabbing up that body for Orianna, trying to grab a little bit of damage and shielding for his team. Gonna pop back to the original Viego form here shortly. And a good job here by Murk, understanding there's nothing we can do. Let's just push mid, see if we can grab this tower here. But Mordekaiser sniffing that out pretty quickly, and this could be disastrous if that goes the wrong way. Luckily, they picked the correct route, but that does mean a free Baron here for the crew.
Yeah, and as they all kind of position around this Mordekaiser, there's 3 people, I think actually 4, and none of them want to approach Mord, because he takes one of them and they're just all dead. So
I know he's going to take 2. I know
he's taking at least 2. I think he kills all 4 of them if they try. They're trying to transition this, maybe a tower on the bot side. Maybe we can get gold onto the Tristana. But unfortunately, the recalls from the Baron are just too fast. And now we're just going to see them get pushed back over and over and over. I'm hoping that JRGC puts Mord just solo into the mid lane and pushes everybody else 4 carries into a side lane. Because then there's no opportunity for them to get flanked from the Glacial Prison on Sejuani. No real angle for Ornn except for straightforward.
Oh, Shockwave here used on it goes by Secret Tunnel, but Mordekaiser's not really deterred. He is still pushing up like his life depends on it here, and this is exactly what you kind of say here. Viego towards the back end though, just in case they send a little too much here for Ghost. They're really popping up a lot of damage here to this Mordekaiser, but nothing that's really going to hard stick towards him. Meanwhile, towards the bot side here, 3 of them smacking down the tower as fast as they can. Ornn towards top side here, causing the Mordekaiser to TP. So now they kind of want to play this safely and wait for it. Wait for Ghost to kind of come forward.
This is actually, I think this is the perfect time for Murk. I don't think they see it, but Mordekaiser just TP'd away. Maybe you could have found something, but unfortunately, it's just at the point where looking at those shutdowns on the enemy team, you've got 2 items on Lissandra, you've got almost 3 items on Viego, and now Mord's just pushing down on this top lane turret as well. More and more gold is suctioning over into JRGC. And now we're just waiting to see how are they going to end this game. Because we've seen them take every outer, every inner, but they've yet to hit any of the inhib turrets. Maybe.
Yeah, I think they're just going to play this one nice and easy. The dragon pops up. That is your soul as well, which is going to help your team that much more. And with it, being completed, that Mordekaiser is going to be a little more scary running around. But there is engage here played by Murk for a counter here from Mumu, looking for a Curse of the Sad Mummy, grabbing up two of them right there. A lot of damage here by Synthetic, picking up damage here. Mumu going in with the Bandage Toss, does hit the ultimate on the Mumu, trying to run away. Bandage Toss towards him once again. Synthetic trying to play it safe here. Does flash out, still has Barrier Fifi. Grabbing a body here, looking for the Poppy, is going to convert back to the Viego, trying to escape here, but Viego is sticking on him like glue. Tower going to save him just for that purpose here. Mordekaiser taking down the tower of the inhib and now pushing towards the Nexus ones. Has Tristana in the middle of everything. No flash, no way to escape. And unfortunately, he's going to get rooted up there. Lissandra picking up the double kill. Mordekaiser taking 2 towers and everyone in between, but it doesn't matter. This man is huge. 8-0 and 7. He ends the game. What a play and what a game 2.
I really have to commend the topside play from JRGC. Mordekaiser and Viego had, you know, a bit of a slow start, but as soon as that quadra kill around Grubs came in for Mordekaiser, it just felt like there was nothing that Murk could do to stop from being choked out of this game.
And we look at that damage chart,
Oy.
25k for the Mordekaiser. That's just a very huge play early on between the three of Fifi. Goes and Grayson, just a wombo combos that hits Mordekaiser above and beyond where he should be at that point. An early realized Crystal Scepter before the 10-minute mark and just starts snowballing everything from there.
Yeah, and I do want to commend the play also from Lissandra. She found that solo kill, trading flash for flash down on the bot side. She was playing around her Viego. There's a few times that Fifi got caught out and she wasn't there a little bit early, but again, she just had her R to just let her team do their thing. And we had a really good flash from Callista in that last fight to dodge and get just like the solid play that you need to execute and finish out a game.
Yeah, and on the flip side here, Murk, Tristana had a really good game back to back here. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much of the top lane collapse that really kind of sent the team into a little bit of a downward spiral there. So a lot of back and forth, some great plays, but I think maybe for Murk just finding out that strength of Tristana in that bot lane and maybe doing a repeat over and over again to really kind of wreak havoc towards that one side so you can kind of even things out. But still great plays from both sides there. Just kind of towards that mid game phase where Murk kind of collapsed inwards, and Jolly Roger Crew a great job of capitalizing on these mistakes.
Yeah, and looking forward as these seasons go, I think we're gonna see a little bit more from JRGC. I don't think they've shown everything they've done. Obviously, it's a bit of a mix-up of the roster from last year, with Roy Nazgos being the one person staying around. But it looks like he's still just a solid core that offers a lot to any roster that he goes to. And Murk Gulag, I think they had a really good play around that bot side when they again conceded the Rift Herald because they knew they couldn't contest Mord. I think they have to keep those smart macro plays in mind, and I think we can really see them improve throughout the season because I don't think they played bad here today.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, both teams playing very well and had definitely had their high points and openings as well for the other side. And it's only week 1 here. It's only gonna get more rampant as we go on. So, and a lot of testing the waters here in your non-conference. So once you get more towards the conference play, you won't be seeing this crew unless the playoff bursts start to happen here. So, but still a really good test of your metal. Good note taking here and there, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for both of these teams. Um, any last thoughts or comments here before we end the stream?
ADC, 6-1. Oh god, can't carry ADC so weak. Riot, please save my role. Top lane, only lane that matters. No, it was a fantastic game, and thank you for the opportunity to cast.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We appreciate having you, and I hope everyone enjoyed the cast. And we will see you next time here. Have a great night, everyone.